Could everyone please mute their microphone if they're not the speaker? We're getting background noise.
Right, at this particular time, if Baba Yummy, our sound therapist, is with us.
I'm back with you. I apologize about my connection and whatnot. But if I could take you on this flow with a little grounding, I ask you to just relax. And again, take a deep breath in and release slowly. Relaxing yourself, relax your shoulders. Just let your energy go. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Just let the music, the tones, grounding tones. Just breathe gently and know that you are love and that you are peace. Ashe.
Okay. Thank you, Baba Yummy, our sound therapist. At this particular time, continue to embrace this way of being, stillness, knowing that the seeds are fully planted within fertile soil, fertile ground, which is your own consciousness, as well as the infinite nature of consciousness itself. And so if you can slowly just move your hands around, fingers around, if you will. Come back or return to your fully awakened state of being. I would just like to take a brief moment to share a new moon message that's in alignment with sacred manhood. The divine masculine is being called forward by our ancestors. particularly in the Black community, to stand up, live fully erect and activated. And so we give thanks for this sacred opportunity to collectively cultivate the divine masculine, that sacred manhood, knowing that doing so will cultivate a complete manhood, a more whole manhood. It is vital that men, particularly of melanated descent, go within to that dark matter. According to science, there exists a mysterious component within the universe called dark matter that they recently discovered, which is the source of all things in the universe. They initially called it black matter, but decided to change that to dark matter. Understand, Black man and woman, that we represent that on the planet, that mysterious infinite source that gives birth to all things. And so there's a level of empowerment that is inherently and innate within each and every one of us. And so as men take time to slow down, fully plant their roots and seeds into the ground, then as that a tree that ascends up and branches out, we can truly influence our relationships, our families, our communities, and ultimately the world. So these moments of reflection, inspection, introspection, meditation, contemplation is vital to the activity that takes place in our communities. And so going forward, this is going to be a normal occurrence. It won't be the rare exception. Men activated with the solar and the lunar, embracing first and foremost their divine masculine, yet also being in alignment with the divine feminine. And so we give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks. At this particular time, we are going to introduce those in the inner circle of the Sage Men program. We do, for the remainder of the time, want to give you some insight into who we are and why we are passionate, rooted, and divinely guided to do this work. So in doing that, I will ask my good brother, Breath Master, to take a brief moment, a minute or two, to share on who he is. He's one of the integral parts of this inner circle, and also why Sage Men are necessary.
Okay, thank you, Brother Manifest. I'm gonna be quick, but I'm gonna be deep, so pay attention. Who I am, big background. I was born and raised in South Florida amongst 3 sisters, 6 brothers. I'm the son of Massey Lee and Edgar Motley, being my mother's 7th born. I am the father of 4 adults, the grandfather of 2 beautiful granddaughters. I'm an Army veteran, a holistic health coach. Once owned a barbershop for over 20 years. I transitioned to an herbalist. I manufactured an herbal beverage called Mega Raga for over 15 years. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I also have, at this point in time, certification, Breath Master certification online, and upcoming certifications in heart touch, touch therapy, reflexology, and what I'm calling family/community wellness leadership. How have I benefited from the Sage Men? I've benefited from the Sage Men through knowing and sharing a space where men can be truly vulnerable, candid, open, respected for their walk, and uplifted by other men with dignity. From my perspective, briefly why the world needs sage men. The world needs sage men for humanity to heal from its insanity, especially the black family, to heal from its insanity, especially the black family needs to be healed. And that can only happen when black men step into their power with reverence, healing themselves. And I'm going to pass the mic back to Manifest.
We thank you. Sounds like we got an echo.
Yeah, our good brother Lynn Dyson over there. He needs to mute his line.
Okay, one second.
So we'll move things along. Brother Dyson.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the mute right now.
If Emmanuel has the ability, he can see if he can do a group mute, and then he can unmute himself when he needs to.
Yeah, I just did it.
We appreciate that, good brother. This particular time, Emmanuel, if you could share briefly on your background as a healer and what you do and what you bring to the Sage Men and why Sage Men.
Thanks. Peace, everybody. My name is Brother Emmanuel, and I am an electrical engineer, an urban farmer, an entrepreneur, and a healer. My healing practice mainly focuses on the restoration of relationships between Black men and Black women for the strength of our communities and, to guarantee a successful future. My purpose in life is healing, building community, and achieving sustainability in that order. And part of what I bring to the Sage Men is a knowledge of the principles and the practices of Tantra and sacred sexuality for the holistic and the whole development of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and for understanding how it is that they come together in harmony and in balance. Through my participation in the Sage Men, I have found so far community, a group of brothers who are able to hold each other accountable, to speak and to honor truth, and to challenge each other to show up as the best that they possibly can be in this lifetime. And my goal with respect to the program is to continue to broaden those who are involved in this program, who are living lives that are based on principle and able to show up in their communities, in their families, in ways that are needed. I think that about sums it up. I give thanks.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. We appreciate that, Ashe. Baba Yummy, would you like to briefly share on yourself and why it's important that we have Black men empowered, activated through programs like the Sage Men?
Absolutely. I'm Baba Yummy Steve Hooks. My background is in music, all in many aspects and many levels of music. My purpose here with the Sage Men comes through the dealing with what I often refer to as like a vibrational, more of a vibrational quest of using vibrations in the healing form. And my background goes back through, I studied at Berklee College of Music, working with sound therapy, working within the sound therapy spectrum of things. And my purpose also with Sage Men is just to help to facilitate men coming together to do what is necessary to do this healing light work, to bring more energy around just Black men and men of color, Black and Native men coming together to talk and to share in ways that we have not been sharing before, and helping to open to facilitate that. As a Reiki master, I use tones to help to open the chakras. The chakras are energy points that are throughout the body, and in short, that's a part of my purpose here. So yes.
Shay, thank you so much, Baba Yummy. Appreciate you. And Baba Yummy is a family man as well. He has an awesome wife and two young boys, and so I know they're being modest and humble here, but that also lends itself to who he is and how he shows up as a family.
Yeah, and I also just want to apologize. I'm kind of distracted because even as we speak, my son is out. They're having their capoeira practice today, but I can see them over here on the sidewalk, and I know one of them's looking for me. So I'm a little distracted. I apologize, but hey, sometimes we have to do what we have to do. This is what it's all about. They're safe, but
Well, we appreciate that. If you ever need to get out the car, please go right ahead. And, family first. So that's just an indication or an example, rather, of how he's able to multitask for the betterment of Black people, Black men in particular, as well as his family. So we give thanks. And also something I wanted to briefly touch on is that I know Emmanuel is modest, and he's also a martial artist in many forms. So he also brings the warrior archetype to the stage men as well. So at this time, last but not least, my good brother Rob, he definitely has a background that we need to hear about, and we'd love to hear why a group like the Sage Men is very important to him as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody for joining the call today. It's an honor, pleasure to be here with you. My name is Rob Gill. I will be working with the pillar aspect of the Sage Men group, looking at leadership, fatherhood. I am father of 6 amazing homeschool kids. One of them is off in college now, and I've got one that actually is running 2 businesses, and it's just really dynamic, incredible kids. And just when you love them, support them, and they will find their way. Over 20 years leadership and management, and develop kind of my own style of management, but bringing in all the aspects of, management isn't just about, telling people what to do, but it's really about working together to accomplish a goal. And so I bring that kind of philosophy into the Sage Men program, because we really all need to work together. This is about unity. In these days that we're in, it's never been more important than for us to come together as a community and move forward, to move together in a common goal, just for the betterment of humanity, betterment of ourselves. And it's in particular with the Sage Men, to really focus on how do we make good men better? How do we grow? How do we get past some of the things that have held us back, and just become stronger within our community? Because when we're strong, the community is strong. So it's an honor to be working with everyone, and really look forward to all that we have to come. And I think I've kind of explained why the Sage Men within that explanation. So I'll turn it back over to Brother Manifest.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Rob. And I tell you, in this day and age, any man who has 6 children and who's fully engaged and involved and loving in their lives, and is a family man, he and his wife, I mean, every Black man needs to, and I'm not just, stroking his ego. Every Black man needs to find out the principles and the secrets. I wouldn't say the secrets, just the way of life that is needed to do that in this day and age. So we give thanks for you, Rob, and all that you bring. Briefly, this particular time, I want to take a brief minute to articulate the 7 archetypes of the Sage Men program, and then we'll briefly touch on the 90-day rites of initiation coming up starting in June. And if anyone has any questions from the greater public, we'll take those as well. So Sage Men model has 7 archetypes of sacred manhood. And so a man is not just a provider or a lover or a family man. He's so much more, particularly in this day and time where we're moving from the 3rd dimensional template or paradigm on the planet to a more expansive 5D, 5th dimensional paradigm. And what do I mean by that? Everything is speeding up. Consciousness is expanding. The way of life on the planet is so much more varied than what it was 50 or 100 or 200 years ago. So the nature of manhood has to expand. So it's not just about, a man being a provider, bringing home the paycheck. He is a truly multi-dimensional being on the planet today in ways that require him to show up and manifest as that. So with that, we have the visionary, we have the warrior, the enterpriser, healer, tantric, pillar, and mystic. 7 elements, if you will, of sacred manhood. And so those 7 archetypes are very important. A visionary. Every man must have a vision on who he is, knowledge of self, why he's showing up, how he's showing up. From a macro to a micro, what is his purpose? What phase of his purpose is he in right now? Also, from something as simple as his wife or his lady friend wants to go get something to eat on Sunday night, and so she says, "Well, honey, what do what's the plan?" Too often, as I talk to women, the plan is the brother says, "Well, hey, whatever you want to do." So, and women are frustrated from, that lack of direction, that lack of vision on the part of men. So we are changing that. We're changing that narrative. Every man will be in tune with, associated with the Sage Men, his greater vision as well as how he navigates that on a daily basis. The warrior, internal and external warrior. What is a man willing to fight for within his own being? What are his fears, his insecurities, his bad habits? And how does he approach those to heal, purify, and transcend those fears, bad habits, and insecurities? Also, from an external warrior standpoint, every man within the Sage Men program will learn some basic martial arts so that he can protect himself, he can protect the women in his life, as well as his children and those in the greater community. The enterpriser. Every man should understand some basic components of entrepreneurism, understand financial security, financial prosperity. We live in a time where oftentimes women make just as much, if not more than men, and that's great. What we're stating today going forward is that men involved with the Sage Men program are going to be fully activated and in alignment with abundance. All right, living as that, understanding that they are the true currency, the current that moves energy from one point to the next. And when we understand that we are prosperity and abundance, then we can bring a whole new way of being to ourselves and our relationships. The healer archetype. Every man should know basic components of healing thyself, whether it's Reiki, Qigong, yoga, sound therapy, breath work, you name it. Men involved with the Sage Men program will have access to healing modalities that benefit themselves, yet also their families and their relationships in their communities. How do they then expand out from healing thyself to being able to assist with the healing of others? Then the tantric, that's the aspect of the man that is the lover. First and foremost, he must love himself. So we have to work through the muck and get unstuck from what is holding us back from being that loving being, filling up that loving cup that runs over into our relationships. And so also, as Emmanuel spoke earlier, the tantric, how do we show up in our relationships with Black women? What are the tools, if you will, the exercises, the principles, the systems to help us be fully engaged and activated in our relationships, so that the woman is getting a love that she's never experienced before. And that's first and foremost because the man loves himself to the highest degree. And then the pillar, as Rob spoke of. So every man must be a leader within himself. He must be a leader within his relationship, how he leads his family, how he leads his community, and ultimately the planet. So they're tools of leadership on how we just show up from moment to moment. And then the mystic, which is the culmination of all of that. That is that God self, that God essence within every man that has certain systems of divination, understands astrology, understands spirituality, has a connection to his ancestors, to his highest self, and ultimately, of course, to his creator. And so we understand and we affirm that when we're fully activated in all of those archetypes, that we show up differently, that we walk as God on the planet through the divine masculine. And so that is our charge. That is what we are affirming. And so with that, I'm going to briefly turn it back to my good brother Rob to speak just a moment on the 90-day rites of initiation, and any other sage men in the circle can also chime in. That is a process that's coming up. Ideally, we're looking to start in June. But Rob, would you like to share on anything with that, sir?
Sure. Thank you, Brother Manifest. So what we are doing, as Manifest had mentioned, is we're putting together a 90-day program that pulls together all these different aspects and pulls together resources from within the community. Many of the brothers that you have met here today, will be handling various aspects of the instructional process. And what it basically will entail is through various meetings, both in person and virtually, we'll be meeting, talking, make sure that each of these different aspects of these virtues are met. That we explore them, we talk about them, we learn about them, and then at the end, you basically can graduate as a sage man. So basically, it's a 90-day program. It's going to be very interactive. It's going to be very educational. It's going to be very moving. And I'm trying to think, what are the different things you need to know about it? Gosh, I think that's it, Manifest. I mean, I think I'm kind of in a nutshell. I don't want to oversell. I don't want to undersell. But it's going to be a very good, it's going to be a very intense program. We're going to be releasing more information. We'll be releasing some information sheets that can be shared digitally, probably some PDFs, so that you say somebody. Hey, this is a good program. This is, we need to build more strong men in our community. So we'll be getting that out in the next probably about 15 days. That's going to outline, how do you join the organization? How do you register? How do you find out more information? We'll be doing some informational sessions as well, leading up to the registration on June 1st. And so that, people can find out more about it before they decide they want to sign up for it. But we're really looking to inspire, to re-energize, and just really build up the brotherhood in our community, both here and abroad, and try to make stronger men within our community, so that our community is then also stronger. So if there are any in particular questions you'd like to know, I'll answer them best I can.
And this Brother Emmanuel, I just want to jump in quickly. Just on a one note with regard to the program. So part of the goal of the 90-day program is to allow men to make very rapid progress and development towards becoming a sage man. And I just wanted to, just take a quick moment just to explain, sort of the way the program functions. So at the beginning of the program, every man who participates will be setting goals in each of those 7 areas of divine masculinity. And over the course of the program, we're going to be using different tools, different techniques, as well as the input from brothers who are well accomplished in each area, and from our elders as well, to assist us all in making development in each of those 7 areas so that we can rapidly progress, bring these different faculties online, and show up in a way that is, superior to the way that we've been showing up in our lives, all within a very intense, short, focused period of time, using some great information, accountability, community, and expertise that we have here within, the group and with the elders who are available. So, I just want that to be clear. So this is something that, involves, the input of those who are well accomplished, as well as those who have been paving the way in doing this work. So it just provides, brothers with an opportunity to very quickly, in just 90 days, set goals, be supported, and make rapid progress.
Thank you so much on that, Emmanuel. That's well said. We appreciate that added insight. Breathmaster, briefly, anything you want to share, or Bobby Yummy, briefly, just within a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I would only say that in addition to the various things that will be happening, as was mentioned, those of us who each have maybe a strong area that we'd be working with, along with, say, like, for instance, as mentioned, like economics. We're talking about having like a sound visual quest, which is, we're constantly inundated with all types of sounds around us, vibrational sounds that affect us in so many different ways. And we're going to explore that, what, how these sounds affect us, and what we can do to better uplift ourselves with what we're putting into our systems. And I think it's going to be this whole movement, sage, and I'm calling it a movement at the moment, but it's a very powerful thing that is going to be helpful for all of us, as men, women, brothers, fathers, uncles, to make us just in a better space. So, yes.
Thank you so much, Bobby Honey. Appreciate that. And just another brief moment, Breathmaster, anything within a few seconds to share?
Yeah, I'd like to say that we're rebuilding culture and we're recreating culture. We're using a lot of ancient tools, but a lot of tools that are redeveloped, redesigned through the crucible of our lives in present day and time. So what we're going to be offering is appropriate for the moment, for our transition. And I would also like to add that if you know of someone that fits this mold, I'm going to affirm that there's going to be someone you're going to see within the coming days that are perfectly aligned and need what it is that the Sage Men offer. So I'm going to charge each of you to reach out to that person. It's going to come like, it'll be like, oh, this will work for this brother. This brother needs that. I'm putting out the call. Let that person know and bring them into full alignment, because we need as many men on deck as possible for what it is that we're creating in a new culture of Black manhood.
Well said, Bob. Everyone on this call, just look out coming days, in the next day or two, more information coming. And as brother stated, share the good news with as many men as possible on Facebook, social media, because the success of this process here ultimately will lead to the success of Black men standing up, living as God in our communities, and doing the absolute best to bring about a better world. And so it starts here, starts right now. Make sure you get the word out. I know we do have a few sisters on the call. We thank you. And before we close, Amina, if you could maybe, just for maybe a few seconds, maybe 20, 30 seconds or something as a woman, and you know, because the Sagemen process, we always do work with women. If you could say a few words just on how you were touched by being on this call.
Greetings, everyone. First of all, thank you, Manifest, for inviting me. I jumped on because I had nothing to do for an hour, and I saw your post, and I just said, "Oh, okay, let me just jump in this." So I kind of was caught off guard. But I know your work well, Manifest, and I have deep respect for your work. So I liked everything I heard. I work with women specifically to help them with knowledge of self and reestablish harmony and balance and compassion. So it's a wonderful thing to see the work that you're doing. So you know, I always share your work anyway, but now I know what I'm sharing, what I'll be sharing about. So that's pretty much it. Anybody who wants to know more about me can go to one of my websites. I'm on Facebook. You can't miss me. I'm online. Just type my name. I'm a little bit everywhere. I'm trying to keep it under 30 seconds. I'm trying to keep it under 30 seconds. The pressure was on.
We appreciate that. No, we give thanks, and we're looking forward to working with you in the future, and the women that you work with and are connected with. So we just give thanks that you took a brief moment today and aligned with the divine masculine in a very formal fashion, saying, "Hey, I want to hear what these brothers are about. These men are doing. Support them." And I already know, based off of the work that you and I have done in the past, that you're going to help multiply efforts and get the word out. So we really appreciate that. We love you. We thank you. That's a major part of the Sagemen program as well. It's about men doing the inner work necessary to stand firm in their highest possibilities and live as God, and also work with women to help them heal and be the best versions of themselves as well. So we'll always do that going forward. And so if there's any other questions, we got another minute. Anybody have any questions about the 90-day rites of initiation? Please unmute yourself and jump right in. There'll be much more information coming in the next few days. But if there's a question right now, just before we close, feel free to jump right in. All right, I think we're good. Rob, did you want to take us out with
one quick question?
A prayer? Oh, we got a question?
Peace, sorry, I was on mute. This is Brother Quelly. What is the commitment when and if someone completes the initiation process? What is the commitment organizationally to the Sagemen if you are to be initiated?
Thank you so much, Quelly. Appreciate it, good brother. It's interesting. Quelly was actually back in 2013. He attended some of the very early orientation meetings. I know you probably remember those, don't you, back in the day? Yes, sir. So we appreciate you asking that question. Well, this is a program, a brotherhood, if you will, sacred manhood. So going forward, the initiation, rites of initiation will be a formal way where men come together and say, for a certain period of time, I am going to go all in 110 for my own transformation. Now, after that 90-day process is completed, we're going to still have regular meetings, monthly, also virtual meetings, because, you know, we've heard many different personal development systems talk about whether it's 21 days or 90 days. for real transformation to occur. Well, real transformation occurs because people continue to live, they continue to learn, they continue to grow, even after that initial program has been completed. And so if not, from my observation and being part of many programs, people have a tendency to fall back in old ways of being because they haven't continued to water those seeds and let them germinate and grow that entire process of that tree ascending and branching out. So to answer your question, there will be a component in the program after those 90 days is complete where we still will have regular meetings on a monthly basis to cultivate and live the principles, the exercises, and the modalities. And so it's, that's that level of refinement where, you just continue. It's a continuous process of taking life to the next level. So I don't know hopefully I answer your question.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If I might chime in as well, this is Brother Emmanuel again. There are also, additional opportunities to continue to take learning in each of those different 7 archetype areas to a much deeper level. We are, constantly, being requested, by the sisters in our community to be able to show up, to be able to hold space, and to be able to facilitate healing. And in order to do that, we know that we need to have brothers who are able to operate at a high level of excellence and integrity, and from a place of love and pure compassion. And so in addition to the 90-day rites, there's, further development and training opportunities, classes, workshops, instructions, etc., that allow us to further amplify the impact that we're able to have and the work that we're able to do in our communities.
Oh, well said, Emmanuel. Appreciate that. And by now, we're pretty sure that probably most people on the call, if not all, have watched the video from Elevation Weekend last August. And the Sage Men were a very integral part of that. And in that video, there was about 50 women at a retreat center right outside of Baltimore, and about 16 Sage Men, men rather affiliated with the Sage Men program. And so in that brief amount of time, that 2.5-hour window, we showed up in our highest possibilities in that moment. And the only way we were able to do that is that we did have some workshops coming up prior to the retreat. And we also had some time the day of going within, doing qigong, mantras, prayers, affirmations, meditation, energy work, so to speak. So when we showed up within those 2.5 hours, there was a shift so great. And ask any sister who was there, watch the video. There were women there who were carrying around issues from childhood, from being in the womb, from relationships, from abandonment, you name it. And there were emotions and traumas that were beginning to be purged there that women were holding on to for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And so it was a large range of women there, from women who looked like they were just out of college to women who were even in their 50s or 60s. And every one of them was touched by men, Black men, standing in their highest possibilities. So as Emmanuel just stated, we're looking to do work around the world with women. After watching that video, been in Atlanta, New York, Omaha, Nebraska, LA, even South Africa was saying, when you're bringing the Sage Men. So, that is a very integral part of the Sage Men as well. Men first and foremost doing their own work, and then as a continuing process, where we requested, we show up in our highest possibilities, living as God, doing the work in various different cities. So that's always going to be an ongoing process as well. Go ahead.
I'd like to add that, and on Elevation Weekend, we came in, the women were doing a phenomenal amount of work. So I want to make sure that we understand that women are doing work, men are needing to come on alignment with our women. And this is an integral part of what it is that we're doing. We're bringing men online up to par with the standard that the sisters have created. And the term elevation is very apropos, because as the women elevate and then the men elevate, then we come into alignment on a higher vibration for us all. And we build in a way that we become, almost unstoppable. Basically, we do what we need to do, so we don't have to concern ourselves with outside forces hampering our growth and our development as a family unit, as men, as women, as a cultural-based community.
Well said, Breath Master. And so if there's any other questions, please chime in there, unmute yourself. We want to be timely, so we want to end in just another moment or so, but if there's any other questions, please chime right in.
Yes, I just want to take the time to thank all of you guys for this platform. My name is Ramon. It's these times. These times are very critical, and I'm loving what you guys doing. I'm very interested. I just want to give thanks for the platform.
Oh, we appreciate you, good brother. What's your name again?
Ramon Bryant.
Ramon, thank you so much, good brother. We're looking forward to working with you, building, cultivating the sacred man that is your birthright. So we give thanks for you chiming in, and this is only going to get better. I mean, it's, we got folks, around the country and some places around the world, men and women, seeing the work that we've already done. And they're looking for much more. So we give thanks for that. One more question, anybody there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Can calls be recorded?
Yes.
Oh, cool. That's cool. That's one time from San Antonio, Texas. That's who has a question. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead and ask your question. How you doing?
San Antonio, Texas, Twan Tompkins. The calls can be recorded, right?
This call is recorded, yes.
Cool. That's what I'm saying. That's cool. Good idea. That's awesome. I started late because I got the number like a minute ago, and then my wife said, "Hey, I got your number." Oh, wait a minute. They came in. Hey, let's see how good though. Next call.
So are you asking, will you be able to receive the recording?
Well, yeah. Can I receive the recording?
Brother Manifest?
Absolutely. We'll have that out this evening, if you will. And so just look on the SageMen, thesagemen.com Facebook page, and we'll make sure that is provided throughout Facebook, but in particular, thesagemen.com, which actually goes directly to our Facebook page. And
okay.
So that's on there. So, hey, man, we appreciate you calling from San Antonio. We look forward to you being part of the process, good brother.
I would say also, since it's going to be shared, feel free to share with others so that they will be introduced to the SageMen and the SageMen process. Since, we can't be everywhere all the time, but in recording, you can share, people can watch whenever, wherever they happen to be, and be fully aware of what's happening and how we're moving and how they can become involved.
Okay.
Outstanding. Okay, on that note, we're going to go ahead for the sake of timeliness. We did start off, but we do know that the university has its own plan. So it's always great to know that questions are being asked and things of that nature. However, if there are any more questions, I would say just reach out to us on social media, Facebook. Rob, you want to give your information real quick on an email address or phone number, how they can find you as our liaison?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You can definitely hit me at bigbabarob@gmail.com, and you can always hit us there. And I think there's also the main SageMen page or SageMen account. You can also take items there. Manifest, I think that's sagemen@gmail.com.
Yep, that's an email address. But I would say, yeah,
but yeah,
actually just the thesagemen.com.
Yep.
and that'll bring you right up to our Facebook page. So, well, we give thanks to everyone. One of our Sagemen brothers want to close us out with a prayer. We always start our meetings and our gatherings with a prayer, and we always end with one. So it's not just us showing up in our own being. That's a major part of it. We always bring in the divine intelligence and our ancestors. So if there's any inner circle Sageman brother that wants to close us out, feel free.
Nope. Did you go ahead?
I'll go ahead and do that. Mother, Father, God, creator of all, knower of all things, bringer of all ways. We appreciate this opportunity. We appreciate sharing. We give thanks to the deities, to the creator, to our ancestors, to all those energetic forces that bring us into alignment for this opportunity to share. Thank you for the clarity that has been given. Thank you for the awareness that has been seeded and implanted. And we look forward to the growth and blossoming and increasing in the unfoldment for all of our being. Let everyone from this call leave with full awareness and go into a divine space of upliftment and be able to share this message with clarity so that we all can overcome, uplift, build, and grow. Ashe.
Shay. Right. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of this call, everyone. Join us in this journey. You already have. We're very excited to work with everyone here, as well as the many, many, many people out there in the world as well. So look for the information coming in the next day or so. The recording of the call will be shared this evening, and we look forward to working with you in the next month as we start this 90-day process. So be blessed and continue the journey.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, everyone. Peace.
Everyone. Yes.